Hello, residents, families, and friends of New York. I am Jacqueline Tyson, President, Rochester Alumnae Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Incorporated. Thank you for joining our discussion on how to register to vote for the primary election. Before we get started, let us give you some background information about our organization. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Incorporated was founded in 1913 by 22 collegiate women at Howard University, located in Washington, D.C. It is an organization of college-educated women committed to the constructive development of its members and to public service with a primary focus on the Black community. The Rochester Alumnae Chapter was chartered in 1965 and serves the greater Rochester community. Our programming reflects a 5-point programmatic thrust, including political awareness and involvement. A member of our Social Action Committee will show you the steps needed to complete voter registration in New York State.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Charmaine Cohen. Let us get started with our application for voter registration. This application is called New York State Voter Registration Form. You must fill out the application form and mail it in no later than May 29, 2020. You may download and print this form from the Monroe County Board of Elections website. Please see the comments section for the link. Please follow along on the screen as we model how to fill out this application. Ready? Box 1. Select yes or no if you are a citizen of the United States. If you are not a citizen, you cannot vote. Box 2. Select yes if you'll be 18 years of age or older on or before Election Day. If you are at least 16 years old and under 18 years old, you can register, but cannot vote until you turn 18 years of age. Box 3. Write in your last name in the upper box and write your first name in the box beneath. Box 4. Write in your date of birth, 2-digit month, 2-digit date, and 4-digit year. Box 5. Write in your gender. This is optional. Box 6. Write in your phone number, including area code. This is optional. Box 7, write in your email. This also is optional. Box 8, write your complete address of where you live, including apartment number, your city, and zip code. Be sure to write in your New York State county. Box 9. Write an address or P.O. box of where you receive mail. Skip if this is the same as above. Box 10. Select yes or no if you have voted before. If yes, write in the year in which you voted in box 11. Box 12. If your voting information has changed, write in what your name, address, and voting state or county was prior to now. Box 13. For identification, you must make one selection. 1, New York State driver's license, or 2, last 4 digits of your Social Security number, or 3, select I do not have a New York State driver's license or a Social Security number. Box 14, you must select the political party you wish to join, or select I do not want to enroll in any political party and wish to be an independent voter. Box 15 are optional questions. I need to apply for an absentee ballot, or I would like to be an election day worker. Lastly, box 16 is where you sign your name and write in the date for the affidavit affirming the information you provided and that you meet requirements to register to vote. Remember, in order to vote in the June 23rd primary election, your voter registration form must be postmarked or delivered in person by May 29th, 2020. Please contact the Board of Elections at 585-753-1550 for additional information or questions. If you live outside of Monroe County, please contact your Board of Elections found on the back of your registration form.
Good evening. I'm Donna Harris, co-chair of the Social Action Committee of the Rochester Alumnae Chapter. I will be facilitating the question and answer segment. I have Shauna Booth, acting Democratic Commissioner for the Board of Elections, as our guest to help us answer questions. Ms. Booth, also a member of the Rochester Alumnae Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. Good evening, Sora Booth.
Good evening.
So, Sora Booth, another question that we have is, do you need a stamp to send in your voter registration card?
If you are not registered to vote, yes, it is required. And the reason why it's required is because all the information that Sora Cohen just reviewed with your signatures is what gets you in the voter rolls for any county in New York State to vote.
So how will I know that I'm registered?
There are correspondence that come out from the Monroe County, well, all Board of Elections annually to confirm your registration at the last known address that you've given us. That's why it's so important that although voters have registered, we always need their updated address information, because if that information is returned, it then impacts your status as a voter.
Are there any questions from the audience? If so, please put them in the comments section. Can you talk a little bit about getting a sample ballot?
Well, the Board of Elections plans to have sample ballots available on our website by next week. So around the 22nd, we're hoping to have the sample ballots for the upcoming June primary election available on our Monroe County Board of Elections website.
Can you remind viewers about early voting?
Absolutely. We are very excited as New York State residents that early voting was implemented in our general election last year, and this will be the first time we're implementing it for our primary election this year. Early voting will start during the primary election on June 13th, It will go through June 21st. The hours are staggered daily during those times, and we are anticipating to have 12 sites open this year.
So can I bring my voter registration card directly to the Board of Elections?
Absolutely. If you're looking to ensure that you are registered on time for the primary election in June, that will be due by May 29th. But I also want to remind voters that the primary election for New York State is closed. And what that means is you have to be a member of that political party in order to vote in the election. So specifically for Monroe County, we do have a few primaries that are going on that may impact actually just about all of our political parties. So I know that I just want to point out that the Independence Party is a political party. So if you wish to enroll in that, you may check that box, but also remember that if you check blank, you do not belong to the Independence Party. You do not belong to any party at all, which means you would not qualify for a primary in New York State.
So what do I need to do if I want to vote in the Democratic primary and I'm an independent voter?
You would have had to change your political party affiliation prior to February 14th.
Oh, so I can't do it now?
No. Correct. It is too late. What will happen is if you try to change it right now, the Board of Elections will accept it. However, it will not be effective until June 30th, which means you will not be eligible to vote into a primary until next year. But you would still be eligible to vote in the general election as any voter, whether you're in a political party or not.
So I'm looking up some more questions from the audience. So Bruce, do you have any other recommendations for new voters and how they can best prepare for the election?
Well, right now, I just want to encourage voters to reach out to their prospective political parties, to get engaged, to actually see what candidates are actually running so that they know what to expect when they go to the polls. I think that's the biggest thing that would be very helpful for the Board of Elections with voters coming in under this COVID-19 crisis.
Can I go online to see if I'm registered to vote?
Absolutely. We do. The Board of Elections does have a portal where you can pull up your information. It doesn't, I don't believe that it actually indicates that you are the person that's actually registered. That's something that you would actually have to call the office to confirm.
Can you call the Board of Elections to see if you're registered? And what's the difference between primary and general election?
The primary election is for political parties to allow the candidates that belong to those specific parties to run against each other to see who will actually be a candidate in the general election. So if you're, for example, in the Green Party, you will then have a race in a primary election where only individuals who are registered in the Green Party can select the candidate that they would like to move forward in the general election to represent them. So the person who gets the most votes in that primary election will then be the candidate to represent that particular party. And in this example, it would be the Green Party in the general election, where any voter who is registered, doesn't matter what particular political party, to vote in the general election.
So we have another question. Can registered voters go online to request an absentee ballot?
Absolutely. We are excited about the fact that we have this electronic portal where voters can go to our website and complete a abbreviated version of the absentee application, which was authorized by the executive order from Governor Cuomo.
We had a question about the absentee ballot in box 7 and what people need to fill out regarding that.
So for box 7, this only refers to the general election. So if a voter is selecting any of the other options outside of the temporary illness, then you are welcome to select something from this general election ballot. So during COVID-19, it really expanded the opportunity for residents to have easier access to the absentee process. And currently under that executive order, it limited the time frame in which this application will be valid for. So that's why I am specifically indicating that if you select any other option in box 1, in addition to checking general election in box 2, is then when you will check an option in box 7.
So the last question, we have had several questions about being able to go to the polls even if you get an absentee ballot. Can you just confirm that question? It's come up a couple of times.
Sure. So just for clarity's sake, New York State Constitution requires that if a person is going to vote by mail, or what we know as absentee, they must complete a form. And what the form that was designed is this absentee application that we keep talking about. So with that, if someone completes the application and has a ballot mailed to them, they may then mail that ballot back anytime before June, postmarked before or by June 22nd, right? And so if they decide they change their mind and they want to vote on election day, they still have that right to do so. And what will happen is they will cast their ballot on election day or during early voting, whichever this voter may choose to do. And that will be the ballot that's final, that counts. What will happen thereafter is when we're canvassing the ballots and we're uploading voter history, we will then, for that particular vote, if they have voted in the election, we will then pull their absentee ballot and it will be invalid because they've cast their ballot during early voting or election day.
So another question about, so I don't have to have the coronavirus to vote by absentee ballot.
That is absolutely correct. Governor Cuomo, again, allowed all New Yorkers the opportunity to vote by mail because of the COVID-19 crisis. He understands the safety concerns surrounding it. We understand the safety concerns surrounding it when we think about the design of polling sites, when we think about the number of voters that come to a particular polling site. So it will allow every voter to cast their ballot in a safe way and to ensure that their vote will be counted.
So I think all the questions that we've had so far. So I would encourage people to reach out to the Board of Elections. LaShawna, could you give us the number again?
Sure. Anyone who has any questions related to the voter registration process or the absentee balloting process, they can give our office a call at 585-753-1550.
So I want to thank Sora Booth for coming and being our guest and answering all the questions that our participants had. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So thank you again, everyone, for joining our discussion on how to register to vote. Please remember to register by May 29th to be eligible to vote in the June primary election. This recorded discussion and also the discussion on how to vote by absentee ballot will be on the Rochester Alumnae Chapter Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Inc. social media. Thank you.